Here are the 5 most manipulative books that can help you get girls. They teach psychological principles that one can use in a very manipulative manner if they were to choose to do so. I'm going to be ranking them from most manipulative to least manipulative and giving you a lesson from each book and telling you how it can be used in the modern dating scene. Starting with The Art of Seduction. This book can be very dark and manipulative, so it teaches you different ways to seduce someone, to get them obsessed with you, to make them love you. And it has very dark psychological principles that you can use that's just going to naturally make someone go crazy about you. Let me give you one example. So the chapter from the book is called Isolate the Victim. It's basically talking about taking the target of your seduction and removing them from all the people around them that have influence over them, like their family and friends. As you can imagine, if a girl has hoe friends, it can be quite annoying if you're trying to develop a relationship and they're feeding her all these hoe ideas. That's one way that this principle could be used. I'm not saying you have to do that, but if you were to remove someone from that influence and that stimulus that they're getting from a group of people, you are the sole influencer over that target. So I'm not telling anyone to use this strategy. I'm just saying this is one of the things that the book teaches. And you can imagine how there's many other tactics like sending mixed signals, teaching you how to take them on an emotional roller coaster, insinuating highs and lows. It teaches a lot of different dark strategies. So for that reason, this is an S-tier manipulative book. And boys, if you want my full guide, I got all the chapter highlights. Robert Greene basically will tell you the chapter and give you a summary of what it is and how to use it, along with all the highlights I took from each chapter, giving you my lens on the book, the most valuable information you can take away from it. I put that all into a PDF guide for you. So if you want to grab that, that's the first link in the description below, and it's completely free. You can grab that now. The next book is Influence by Robert Cialdini. This book teaches you the 6 principles of influence, and these can be used with sales, marketing, or dating. Now, let me give you an example. There's a principle of influence called commitment and consistency. This basically states that people like to stay committed and consistent with their word. When someone says something, they like to live up to it. It is a really good trait that people have, and this is evolutionarily back all the way to our hunter-gatherer days, which helped us survive in tribes. So this is very deeply ingrained into our mind. Now, how this can be used manipulatively, I'm gonna leave it up in interpretation, but I'll give you a little hint. If someone is in a very open, receptive, fun mood, that is when it's a good time to collect a commitment, because now they're going to be more open to it. But if you're just trying to collect commitments at bad times, it's not going to lead to as much success. So try and think of trying to go after collecting that commitment, whether that's trying to set up a date or whatever it is, at a time when they're the most receptive. And this comes from having high levels of empathy, being able to think and feel as that person is feeling. Timing can make a world of a difference. A girl who would have gone on a date with you at the right time if you asked her will not if you ask her at the wrong time. And this is all how you can leverage and utilize the commitment and consistency principle for your advantage. Now, this book isn't inherently too manipulative, but some of these principles can be taken very, very far. So for that reason, this is a B-tier book. The next book is The 48 Laws of Power. This book is not about dating, but these laws can 100% be applied in dating, and most of them do actually provide insane amounts of value if you are dating. Let me give you an example. One of the chapters is called Say Less Than Necessary, and this is something I've been doing all of the time. See, you don't have to go on and on and on and talk and talk and talk. When you say less, you actually appear as more confident and you take out room for errors, because most of the time, you're going to be the one who kills attraction by saying too much or saying something stupid. And if you focus on saying less than necessary, keeping your communication clear and concise, you're actually going to be doing yourself a favor. So this is just one of the laws. There is some laws in this book that are very, very dark and manipulative. So for that reason, this is an S-tier book. The next book is The 50th Law. This book is super powerful, and it teaches you a lot about mindset and being fearless. And this can be 100% applied to dating. And a lot of these principles have actually helped me so much I can't even explain. I'm always preaching that mindset is one of the most important things with dating or anything that you do in life, and it stands true. And this book helped me forge an iron mindset. When I was 19, I read this, and I've gone back and read this year after year, and it's proved invaluable for me. Now, let me give you one of the laws of this book, and that is turn shit into sugar, and it's called opportunism. So this has been extremely powerful for me. I mean, when I was cold approaching getting rejected, I took that shit and turned it into sugar, thinking, okay, well, every single one of these cold approach rejections is an opportunity to learn and grow. And that cultivated a mindset where I was not just getting rejected, but I was growing with every single rejection that has come to me. And on top of that, there's been many times where I have that saying in my mind, like turning shit into sugar opportunism, where I'll roll up to a foreign country by myself, knowing absolutely no one, go to a club or something, and then leave with a girl. And I'm just like, I came here with absolutely nothing, and I left with a girl just because of who I am, my confidence, my courage, my communication. And that is another way that you can interpret that law. And this is super powerful for developing your mindset. And I'm a huge fan of the book. In terms of its manipulativeness, it is pretty manipulative, but it depends on how you view it and the lens that you take it in. So now I'm going to rate this A tier, and is a book that I highly recommend for every single one of you to read. And this last book is called The Power of Charm. Now this book teaches you how to be charming. It teaches you how to make people like you, befriend them really quickly using charm and charisma. So this book isn't inherently manipulative, but you can use charm for manipulative purposes. Now, I'm not going to give you an example of how I've used it manipulatively, but how I've used it to make friends. So one of the chapters is called Be Quick to Praise. Now, when I go out, I am a social guy. I talk to everybody, not just girls. And the nights that I do focus on just trying to get girls are usually the nights that I don't even succeed anyway. The nights that I succeed is when I'm a social guy talking to everybody in a social flow state. And when I want to make a guy friend, what I do is I go up to him and I give him a compliment. I'll say his style looks good. I'll say he's handsome and he's going to get all the girls tonight. And every guy loves to hear that. Guys don't get compliments nearly as much as you would imagine. So when you can be someone who is just always giving compliments out, being that nice, friendly guy, and good at socializing as a whole, talking to girls, guys are going to want to be around you, and it gives you friends to cold approach with. You'd be surprised how many times, because I did that, guys have introduced me to girls that they know who I've ended up sleeping with. It's just one of those things where it's very beneficial to have guy friends and allies when you go out and you want to get girls. So that's how I've used charm and praise to help me get girls. Now, this book is not too manipulative, like I said, so it is going to be C tier. And boys, pick up the Art of Seduction guide right now for free. In there, I'm giving you every single chapter, the overview, which teaches you what it is and how to use it, and then my highlights from each of the chapters with the most valuable information, because this book is pretty confusing. And the first time I read it, I actually didn't understand much. And then rereading it now after years of having experience, it made a lot more sense. So I'm giving you all the most valuable highlights from this book that will actually deliver you the value, so you don't have to read all 400 pages. You can just get my PDF for free and check that out now.